Hi, I'd like to welcome you to this edition of Country Cooking. We're still kind of carrying on the ethnic foods. I'd like to also remind everybody, if they see Kelly Brantner, tell her thanks for being on the show, being my first guest. I should have had a gift for her. So anyway, today we are doing Cookin. Everybody loves Cookin around here. It's kind of the state dessert, so we're gonna go ahead and make some. And my recipe I'm making is actually from Bernice Shook. She was the head cook at the Harriet School for 35 years. She gave me her recipe and I love it. It's easy to work with, so hopefully it's as easy for you guys as it is for me. And we're gonna start out with getting our yeast to poof. So we're gonna start with a 1/4 cup. I'm doing a half a recipe today. To do a full recipe, that'll be on the Valley webpage, but we're gonna do a half today because that way the Valley people won't get overweight from all the Cookins I'm gonna send into the office. So 1/4 cup of yeast, warm water, 1 packet of yeast, and if you've never worked with yeast, it's really not that scary. The trick is just to dissolve it real good in your bowl, get it all blended there, and then yeast works as with the gas, so you need to get it to poof. And we've kind of found that if you add a little bit of sugar to the yeast and water, it's going to make the yeast active more quicker. So we are going to go ahead and take this and that mixed up, and then we're going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of sugar. You don't need much, just a little bit. So we're going to add this 1/2 teaspoon of sugar, put it in there, give it a whip, and that will start to activate here real quickly. While this is working, we're going to let that rest. We are going to go ahead and add a 1/4 cup of shortening or lard, whichever you prefer to use. Shortening is easier to find in the grocery store. To 1 cup of warm milk. What I did was I put the milk on the stove, got it to the boiling point so that it gets hot enough, but you don't want to boil it, you don't want to scald it. You want it hot so your shortening is going to melt. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and put our 1/4 cup of shortening in the kettle and let this all melt down. And get that way when you incorporate everything together, you don't have chunks of shortening someplace. So we're just gonna put this up. And I think today, Cookin that we're gonna do, it's still kind of a good season for good fruits at the grocery store. So we're gonna go ahead and make blackberry, fresh blueberry, prune, and peaches. I actually did some canning of peaches this summer here, so I pulled a jar of them up, and we're going to use fresh canned peaches instead of canned, because in the wintertime when you make Cookin, if you don't have peaches, you'll use canned peaches, which is good. But when you're doing your peaches, any other type of a fruit that you're going to take out of a can, make sure you drain it the night before if you can, so you don't have all that juice from the fruit that'll lay on your dough, because then your dough will be soggy in those spots. So we're just going to let this here sit for a minute while I clean up this mess and get my fruits and stuff in front of the camera here, and then we'll be right back. Valley's got a message for you. Be right back.
I wear my medical alarm button as a neck pendant, and I wear it all the time. It is very comfortable to wear, and I don't even notice that I'm wearing it. I feel very confident and secure knowing that I can speak to a live person anytime, day or night. The people you speak with are clear and concise. I was having an electrical device repaired in my home, and the power was accidentally shut off. Within seconds, my phone rang, and it was the company letting me know that the power had been shut off to my security device. My upcoming surgery is what prompted me to purchase this personal safety device. It gave me peace of mind to know that if something happened, help was just the push of a button away. Now it gives me a sense of comfort and security because I live alone. Everything was set up and explained to me by the Valley employees. It is very easy to use. I chose Valley because it is a valuable service provided by a hometown business.
With a personal home safety system from Valley, you can enjoy the peace of mind that help is just minutes away. Sign up now and receive your personal safety equipment free of charge.
Okay, our yeast is poofed and ready to go into our shortening and milk mixture. So see how nice that is after you let it rise for a little while. It's going to make the dough nice and fluffy and easy to work with. And just scrape that into here. And then you're going to have 1 egg, and you want to beat that a little bit before you add your stuff to it. So just beat your egg. And we're going to add the sugar and the salt. It's this recipe, it's going to be a 1/4 cup because like I said, I'm doing half of the recipe. So it's a 1/4 cup of sugar and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. We're going to pour that in there. We're going to go ahead and add the milk and yeast mixture to that. And we're going to put it on the mixer. And again, we're going to use the dough book. And then the recipe, full recipe calls for 7 to 7.5 cups of flour. I've got it pre-measured out. We're going to shoot for about 3 cups. It says 1 cup at a time. I'm going to just start with this 2 1/4 cups or 2.5 cups for now. And we'll go from there. See if we need to add more. And back in the days before there was Sunbeam or KitchenAid mixers around, the women used to do this here all by hand. So if you don't have a KitchenAid mixer or a stand-up mixer, don't be afraid to do it by hand. You just got to have the strength in your arms, and I don't have it anymore. My muscles are getting weak. I think it's age. And after you get it start going, then you're going to turn around and you're going to want to wipe your sides down to make sure you get all your flour in there so that it all gets incorporated. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Turn it back on. And you can tell when your dough is getting close to the right consistency because it's going to pull off the sides of your mixing bowl. And if it doesn't pull away, that means you need more. So we're going to have to add more flour to this one. So we'll just bring this over and we'll start here. And just add a little at a time. See how it goes. I'm going to finish mixing this up, and when I get it to the right consistency, I'll be right back to show you what it looks like. Okay, we got our dough mixed up, and as you can see, it's a nice soft dough. It sticks, but it doesn't really stick bad, so that's how you want this to be. And we're going to go ahead and cover it with a towel, or press and seal, whatever you've got, whatever you want to cover it with. You just don't want the air to get to it and dry your dough out. So we're going to go ahead and cover this and let it set for just a little while till it doubles in size, and then we're going to punch it down, roll it out, and we'll bake our Cookin. While this is rising, we can actually start with our fruit. And today's fruit, we're going to go ahead and do fresh blueberries, fresh blackberries, the peaches, which I've drained ahead of time, and prunes. Now I know a lot of the older people like prunes, a lot of the younger people are going to go prune. What I did, and this I learned from my mother-in-law, for prunes you want them to be softer than what they are when they come out of the package. So you just take however many you want and you put them in a small kettle, add water to the top and bring it to a boil. Once it boils, put the lid on it, turn the heat off and let them set. And they're going to get, as you can see, they're soft. They're where you can bite into it and you're not going to get the whole prune in your mouth. It will break away or bite away. So those are the 4 flavors that we're making today. You can use any type of fruit you want. Rhubarb would be a good one. I just didn't take time to go pick mine yet, so that's what we're going to do. The recipe that we are making, we'll make 10 Cookins if you do a full recipe. Being we're doing half, we're going to need 5 pans. So we'll get those out and get ready. we'll move our fruit. And as I get my pans ready and my work area here ready, Valley has a short message for you, and we'll be right back, and then we'll start the rolling process.
Head back to school with cellular service from Valley. This month, get a handset for only 99 cents. That's right, the most popular up-to-date phones for only 99 cents. Call Valley today at 437-2615 for more information.
What we're going to do now is our dough has risen. As you can see, it's nice and full. And we're just going to go ahead and split this out into 5 chunks of dough to roll out for our tin. And we're just going to add some flour to the countertop so that you don't have it sticking. It will stick to your hands a bit because it has risen, but you know what? Once we start rolling it out, it's not going to. See, my hands are fairly clean, and that's how you want it. You want it to be soft so you can work with it, but you want it to also be where it's not sticking to you. And you're just gonna roll it into a circle. And if it's not a perfect circle, don't worry about it because you're gonna put it in your pie tin and you can cut the excess off of the edges. And this is where you get the kids in the house if they have been naughty and make them stand there and roll that. It'll keep them entertained for a while. You want it to be fairly thin. Just drop it in your pan and you want to stretch it up to a point so you've got a bit of a lip on it because you want it to hold the custard and the fruit in. And if we run out of dough, we'll just make one less Cookin. There. Drop it in. You can lift it over to get it to fit. It's kind of like strudel dough. It's pliable. Just work with it. It'll work with you. Don't be afraid to make dough. Dough can be fun to work with. So we got one here. We're going to go ahead and trim the edges. Just take a sharp knife and you can pull that off, put it in here because you can reuse it. Okay, then you'll go around and just kind of make this look a little neater. And there's one down and we've got 4 to go. I'll go ahead and roll these out. We'll take a break for a minute. We'll come back and we'll have all of them rolled out. We'll be ready to start our custard and then we'll start filling our pans with our fruit. So I'll be right back.
Finally, an easy-to-use touchscreen computer is available now from Valley. Cookin comes with its software fully installed and ready to go right out of the box. Just connect your Cookin to the internet and enjoy the experience. Call Valley today at 437-2615 for all the details.
Now that the dough is about ready, we'll roll those out and stuff, but I want to get my cream going for my custard. So you're going to need 5 cups of cream, and you want to turn that on the stove low. You want it to get hot, but you don't want it to boil or scorch. So do that, and while that's starting to, to heat that up, we're going to take 5 eggs and we're going to beat it. And to the 5 eggs after they've been beaten, we are going to go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of flour and 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. And 2 cups of sugar. And we're just going to mix that up all real well and get it incorporated with each other because we will add a little bit of the warm cream to this and then add it all back into the kettle with the cream to make our custard, but you can't rush cream on a stovetop. So we'll just have to take time on that. And while we're waiting for that to heat up, I will go back and finish rolling out the rest of those Cookin for the tins. I'm almost done, and then we'll show you what it looks like. Okay, our cream is getting warm now, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take some of this out, like a ladle full, half a cup or whatever. You just wanna add some to your eggs so that they don't curdle and stuff when you put them back in the kettle, or they don't start to cook. This way it kind of neutralizes them, I guess is a good word. So we're just gonna whip this up. Now we're gonna shake all that off. And pour it all in here. And now once we've got the sugar and stuff in here, you're gonna wanna have to stand here and continually stir the custard mixture until it's thick and it's ready to go on the Cookins, because if you don't, it's gonna get lumpy on you. It all tastes the same, it just doesn't look so good. And if you're trying to impress somebody, you want your custard to be smooth, you don't want chunks of stuff in it. So we're just gonna stand here and stir, and stir, and stir. And this here takes a while, so I don't know if Valley's got any good messages. I know today it's a lot of, we'll be right back, but when you're preparing something like this, it's really hard to do it all together, so be patient with us. You know, after the end of the show, you guys are gonna just be so impressed with what you've got to look forward to when you guys cook this meal.
Valley Telecommunications, the home team advantage.
This is the team you want on your side.
Taking you to the future with hometown pride.
Broadband, TV, phone services too.
Bringing the latest technology home to you. Valley Telecommunications, the home team advantage.
Okay, now that we've got our Cookin dough rolled out, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put our fruit on. And being I've got 5 here, we're gonna do 5 different kinds. I had a request from one of the little gals at the office that said she'd like a chocolate chip one. So we're gonna do chocolate chip. But first we're gonna do the prune. And what you wanna do is you just wanna kind of spread it out in your pan so you've got like a bite or part of a bite in each slice. You don't wanna be skimpy with your fruit, but you don't wanna overdo with your fruit either. I have a few extra, but that's okay. We'll just set them aside. Then we're gonna go ahead and add some peach. Now remember, these are fresh canned peaches from this year, so this is gonna be a good one that everybody's gonna wanna eat. Peach is one of the favorites at our house. So there again, we're just gonna add fruit to cover the bottom, but not overdo. You can use canned peaches. I even made pear Cookin one time when I was trying to impress somebody. They said, oh, I never heard of that before, so must have impressed them. And then with your fresh berries like this, you wanna wash them and go through them before you put them in, so you make sure you got all the soft, mushy ones. Maybe there's a little bit of mold growing on some of the blueberries and stuff. You don't want that. You don't want people to get that moldy taste in their mouth from the fruit. You can use red raspberries, you can use strawberries, rhubarb, any type of fruit you can think of, you can probably use. So there, we'll do that. I need to wash my hands. We're gonna pause for 1 second. I got my hands clean. Now we're gonna go ahead and add some blueberries. And I probably should have laid these out on a paper towel because they are a little wet, but I think we'll be okay. I like blueberries, so we're gonna put a lot of blueberries in here. And with fresh fruit, you have your stems, so that's why you really want to go through and make sure that you check it very well. You don't want anybody to get a stem in their mouth. So we have a peach, we have a blueberry, we have blackberry, we have prune, and you don't put your blueberry stems in with your prune. So, and then we're gonna go ahead and add chocolate chips to the last one. I've never done chocolate chip before, so when this one is done, I really want to taste it and see what it's like. If we had another tin with dough in it, we could go ahead and make just a custard one, but that'll have to be another time. So, okay, our custard is here. It's cooked. You can see it's still hot. I'm gonna go ahead and stir it up. I'll just put it in here for now. And then you want to ladle it on your Cookins, and what you want to do is just pour it over the top on each one, and then you can come back and smear it because you want to make sure that all of your Cookins get some of the custard before you run out. And of course, I didn't cut this recipe in half, not thinking, so we'll have plenty of custard for these 5 Cookins. And that's the best part. I love the custard. I could sit here and eat it right out of the kettle. Now, this one I better cover right away because I don't know what's going to happen to those chocolate chips being the custard so hot. It might be chocolate chunks when she gets to taste it. Okay. And then we'll take the spoon again and just smear it over the top. And as you can see, I think we need a little bit more on this one. So that's why it's good to just do a little bit at a time. You can always add. Another one of our favorites at our house between my husband, my youngest daughter, and I is cheese Cookin. And it's actually the dry curd cottage cheese. Samantha does not care for cottage cheese, and if she actually saw what that looked like before it was cooked, she probably wouldn't eat it. But you know, that's kind of like what they don't know won't hurt them. And she's found out it tastes pretty darn good, so that's her favorite, but this time we're not doing that, so she's just gonna have to eat one of these other ones, if we have any left. Okay, so we got our 5 Cookins ready. Then what I do is I just take and sprinkle cinnamon on top of each one. And you don't have to overdo the cinnamon, just enough to give it some color. I remember doing this for the Valley Mill one year. Boy, did I make Cookins. But the school got what was left, so we all enjoyed it. Okay, these here are gonna go in the oven for 20 minutes. So we'll take a break, and in 20 minutes I'll come back and we'll turn the camera back on and let you guys see what the finished product is. Be right back.
According to the FBI, a burglary occurs somewhere in the United States every 15 seconds. Is your home or business adequately protected? Wireless security packages from Valley start at just $17 per month. Video surveillance for your home and business is also available from Valley. Call 437-2615 for more information or to set up a time for your free customized quote.
Okay, we got the Cookins all done. As you can see, we've got the black cherry. I had to try the blueberry. It was really good, so I had 3 pieces. No, kidding, I shared. The camera gal had one, and so did the other person that's here, so it wasn't like I ate my own. Anyway, this is what they look like when they're done. I just cover them with tin foil and throw them in the freezer, and then when we get unexpected guests come, I can take them out and thaw them out. If you want, you can put them on foam plates, but the Cookin recipe is really easy. We're glad you guys tuned in again this time for this episode of Country Cooking. Make sure to tune in next time. We're gonna do at least one more German dish, and we're gonna carry out some soups, I think. I'm looking for recipes and I'm looking for guests, so please don't be afraid, come join me. We'll cook in the kitchen and have fun, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time on Country Cooking.